Game 1. Here they are, and yeah, it is an extremely important match nonetheless, as they are on an X1 score, and it is so different to open up and, you know, just go to sleep with only one loss under your belt. And, well, we have seen what the Ryzeal Mitsurugi deck can do going first, so it's not going to be easy for Sebastian to fight back.
Yeah, this is the absolute premium start for the Mitsurugi deck. Not really because of how powerful it is on its own, but just because of how powerful it is in particular Drone Lockbird, because we've seen players coming up with this technology to play around Drone Lockbird by activating this quick play spell in the draw phase. So you already have searched quite a few cards by the time you've got to your main phase 1. So it makes Droll just that much less scary, because once you've already activated a ritual spell and your first time searching, you've got a ritual on the field, you're already searching. It's just so much less impactful in this situation than it would be in others.
And yeah, and Mustafa is also maximizing on the prayers and rituals, so he's playing 3 of them both, which I think makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, to give consistency to the deck, and as you mentioned, Tom, I think it's the premium start, but here comes the Dominus Impulse being activated from Sebastian.
Yeah, a very reasonable target for the Impulse. It's, yeah, always worth wondering about the Mitsurugi Ryzeal deck. There was sort of the initial version of the deck where it was kind of a Ryzeal deck with a little bit of a Mitsurugi engine. But this deck that Mustafa's playing is more of a Mitsurugi deck with a very small Ryzeal engine. So just playing the 5 Ryzeals, which is really not very much. So it's kind of an interesting take on the deck.
As soon as you say that, there comes the Ryzeal.
There comes one, but there's only going to be 5 this game.
Exactly, fair enough.
No cross to put them back. So just a very small package. I think really the idea is just to have use of Ext, which is just such an unbelievably powerful card. You just think, right, I just want to include that. And then after that, I want to run as few as possible. So 5, or maybe it's even 6 is the number. 2 ice, 2 Ext, a node, and a sword.
But yeah, it's an interesting line of plays for sure. We do see, you know, some players, including this Purification in the main deck, not super popular. You know, it's been debated a bit, but we did have it. So it's gonna be obviously great going first in this game for Mustafa.
Yeah, a nice clean piece of synergy as well. When you can use Habakiri and you've already got a rank 4, you can trade your rank 4 for another level 4, which can be used to rank up into another rank 4, so all just goes around in circles.
Stop.
Yeah, one ritual is negated and another one will be activated shortly.
You may also consider, I think, that you may be up against Malice because of the Dominus Impulse, right? Because Malice basically is mainly the only deck playing it this weekend.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually now that you mention it, because Malice is definitely the premium deck running Dominus Impulse for sure. Maybe Mermail.
Yeah, I was thinking Mermail. Am I, you know, biased?
But yeah, you're a Mermail enjoyer.
Absolutely.
Everything's Mermail to you. Here we go. 1 Dominus Impulse, really just not going to be enough against an opener this strong when you have both Ext and Prayers to start your turn. Really going to end with so much stuff on the field and in the hand. I think Purification in hand already. And now presumably we're going to see a couple of Ryzeals hit the field once again. So we can make up to 2 more rank 4s. I'm not sure what the most powerful rank 4 that is not detonator is in Mustafa's extra deck that he's going to use to try and interrupt his opponent. And here comes Dugares. Skipping our next draw phase, a small price to pay. The 2 cards now. One of them, it looks like, is that draw and Lockbird, so going to have a draw for his opponent's turn, which is probably actually knows that draw not so helpful against Malice in particular, and if he's thinking Malice, then probably not so fussed about picking it up, but it can't hurt. I suppose it can hurt.
I mean,
if you're playing Mitsurugi, isn't it? It does actually shut down some of what you can do on your opponent's turn. Not sure how useful it is against Fire King. They search a couple of times, but nothing on quite the same scale as the Mitsurugi deck.
And yeah, definitely.
Oh, well, I think maybe, yeah, we are gonna have to pause the game for a moment while we go back to us. Yeah, so unfortunately, I mean, we need to do some checks and have the judge come over just to confirm some discrepancies that can happen in the deck list. So hopefully it's nothing serious and it's gonna be fixed. But in this case, we are just gonna have to fill some time in and just wait for the response back. So maybe what we can do is just take a look once more at what has happened today. So at the start of the day, what has been the country breakdown for the event. Obviously, we are in Germany, as you know, we highlighted in the previous segment, and 29% of the field is from here. Although I see second place.
Yeah,
Italy.
I thought that was why you brought it up, to be honest, that the Italians here are in big numbers. Amazing to see more Italians than French, considering how popular the game has been in France in these recent years, especially also like the size of the national championships.
Yeah.
I think France is the biggest or second biggest after Germany, so a good showing from the Italians. Did you all bring them all over much, Ole?
Absolutely, absolutely, and you know them very well that you now are an honorary member as well, so you are up in the count too. But I mean, as mentioned, this can be relevant in a way where we saw in the playoff. What's more relevant is obviously what decks they are using. So once more, let's bring up on the screen what was the deck breakdown, because at the end of the day that's even more interesting. And as mentioned, Malice, the deck to beat, we are not gonna see it here in the last round, but it has been performing even more impressively today, almost pretty much winning every time it goes to go first, and even as second it has some interesting tools. What do you guys think? Has there been a break through performance today, something that surprised you out of the others?
I have a feeling like Vanquish Soul, I know people have said it before, but given how popular it is, yeah, I'm surprised at how popular it is. I would say that 13% of players have decided to pick it up. I think otherwise it looks kind of as you would, like Mitsurugi is quite popular, and then if you combine the Mitsurugi and Mitsurugi Raziel variants together, then they do become the most popular deck, which kind of makes sense. Memento and Lunar Light sitting there at 4%. If anything, I think Other is like smaller than I normally remember. I feel like it's normally in the 30s or 40s or something.
I also feel like the Vanquish Soul may increase during the top cut, you know? I have like this feeling that, best players may be relying on the Vanquish Soul. I'd love to say it in action, to be fair, but I also think Malice is the deck to beat for sure after also what we witnessed yesterday. But looks like everything is fine now. We can go back to the game. Here we are. There was just a check from our judges, and the game can resume as with the Ice Raziel.
Yeah, always good to just make sure everything is being played absolutely correctly, and indeed it is. So Ice Raziel going to summon a node, and I suppose we can see some nice play here. A few tricks with the Eclipse Twins, which can then get sent away for the node. So many tricks up the sleeve of the Ryziel deck. And we have 2 rank 4s. King of the Feralims. One more search, why not? With King of the Feralims. I'm not really sure what useful reptiles are left in the deck at this point, considering how many have been searched already. But it cannot hurt. I think King of the Feralims is an old enough card that I would expect it to not have a once per turn on it. So if you summon a new copy, you probably just get a new search.
Quite of an over from Mustafa here, which was not done yet, because, I mean, it was, yeah, basically only the impulse, but King of the Feralims once again shares the Abakiri. Yeah, I mean, this is impressive, to be fair. It's a lot of things going on, also with 2 set cards, and I think I also saw the Drawn and Lockbird in hand, just in case.
Sort of interesting, he's not put the detonator in the extra monster zone, because when you've got the Futso on field, you can kind of fill up your field with reptiles. Is that your favorite card there, Marcello?
It is the Futsu, but yeah, this is an impressive opener, as you were mentioning, and well, that is a card to face off such a field, if there is one.
It is the smallest of the chickens. It's just a regular, is it a legendary Fire King Garunix? Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of Garunixes these days now, and there's a sort of High King Avatar. What was the? I don't even know all of the different ones. This one's a legendary. Fire King Ponix. I suppose not even a Garunix. Mustafa just forcing out a discard if Sebastian wants to continue. More than happy to discard a Garunix. Not really one you want in your hand. You want it in the deck, so it can be summoned with Volcanics. It's going to be a bit tough for this Sanctuary, because Sanctuary can be met immediately by a Detonator and a Drawn Lockbird. Don't even need to use Detonator on Sanctuary when the island that it's going to fetch is going to be completely useless.
Well, there's the talent here, but I mean, Mustafa can also use the Murakumo.
Yes.
It feels like
so many different options. And of course, we just negate it with our Mitsurugi Trap.
Fair. And what is next is the question. Couple of cards still in the end from Sebastian. We can have access to Fire King Island, possibly, and I think Garunix is in the end.
Yeah, he's in a very tough spot for sure, given you can't use Island. Although, having said that, this Detonator maybe not as scary as it would otherwise look to other decks when you're not super fussed about your cards being destroyed. Ah, this is the ancient Fire King technology, crashing a monster.
If not broken, we fix it.
Exactly. Wish there was some way to like have a read. You know, this is where you want Mind Crush to be good. I mean, it's never going to be good, but you know, you say, oh, okay, I know what you got in your hand now. Let me activate Mind Crush, but it's it wouldn't even matter because it can activate perfectly well from the grave. But
yeah.
One day, Mind Crush will be relevant again. One of my favorite cards, I think.
yeah.
It's just so much fun.
When you discard,
It's fun to beat.
Well, I think ever since the change in the rules of the game, so that Mind Crush no longer lets you see your opponent's hand after you resolve it, it's probably a bit too weak, but maybe one day. Maybe some reason.
American Dream.
So that Volcanics being destroyed there is usually to fetch a Garunix.
Yeah, but
we saw Garunix already discarded. I can't imagine anybody running 2. Has to come from the deck, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, we are just gonna proceed to attack.
Yeah, you get half the attack of the monster you destroy, I think. So
Yeah,
400,
I mean,
enough to get over the detonator, not enough to get over the Futsu. Futsu is massive, isn't it? 34.
yeah, 34.
I mean, it's no Memento combined creation, but it's pretty much up there. There's not really many other cards in the game at the moment where...
Is there no Super Quant?
There is a super con.
But that is enough indeed, and Mustafa just opens up such an overwhelming field and takes game 1 home. Only 1 game away from possibly ending this day 1 on an 8-1 impressive score, but Sebastian is gonna try his best going first with the Fire King deck. What can we expect from him in the side deck?
Go for it, Tom.
Well, here we go. We have a solemn, a solemn, a solemn, a solemn, a solemn, and 1 more solemn.
Yeah,
Ooh,
and
okay.
6 solemns, which I think we haven't seen in all weekend. He's playing 3 judgment and 3 warnings, which, yeah, just wants to say no.
Warning. Okay, interesting choice, yeah. Rather than Solemn Strike, but fair enough.
I think, yeah, the warning rising to popularity specifically for the Mitsurugi deck,
Indeed.
so you can negate ritual among other things. So makes sense. Yeah.
Just say no, I guess.
Just say no.
So that should be pretty straightforward. Just bring in 6 Solemns. It used to be maybe not popular, but you know, a strategy back in the day sometimes to just side those counter traps. Well, I guess there is not much to say about it. On the other hand, Mustafa, you know, will try his best to stay in this game. He is comfortable enough that even though he were to lose, he will have another chance at going first. So I think he will be the one that can relax a bit and take this one easy. But I think our duelists up at this point have done this multiple times already, as you can see among the fastest side deckers that we have seen today. So without further ado, let's go back into action.
So here we go. Sebastian presumably going to take the opportunity to go first this time. Let's see what the Fire King deck is up to. Fire King, to me, one of those decks where it's not super obvious how to end compared to other decks. You kind of like how you organize your end field is actually very important.
Ooh. Is that... Okay, no, we do have the island, because I think we have both Garunix, if I'm not mistaken. He drew again into the other Garunix. Not sure, but what I can tell you for sure is that we did open a couple of those trap cards.
Yep, I think I saw 2 Solemn Warnings, so
Indeed.
it's going to be quite hard to resolve a ritual.
Yep. Is it double Garunix? Let's see. Yeah, it is. It is again the OG Garunix and the newer version, which is the choice here. That's unfortunate. Just opening once more the one you really don't want to draw. Maybe the only card in deck you don't want to draw. Oof! And we are met with a Droll and Luck Bird. I mean, at least when you open Solemns, you're fine, I guess. It's not, you know.
I think that is the plan, but can 2 Solemns take on the world?
I mean,
let's find out.
That's fine.
And yeah, I mean, Solemns can also negate Ryzial summons. Oh, yeah, the set Volcanics.
fair enough. I was also thinking about that, whether, I mean, you probably don't want to have this game stolen away from you. There is a universe in which you just use double warning and they can just get you, even though they wouldn't win the game, you know, they can deal those 4,000 life points remaining. So, oof, once more, we do open X.
Oh no, this is devastating because you're going to lose both warnings to this one X, or you have to let it through. But because if you're warning one, then you can just target the other. He's just going to choose it. Wow. We're just seeing the power here. I mean, are you just supposed to warning it? I feel like maybe you are.
Maybe you are.
And just give up both?
Yeah.
I mean, as bad as it feels, because now you're just going to have to warning this sword, maybe.
Yeah, but if you didn't warning the first one, why would you? You know what I mean? I think you're too committed now. Because like either you're warning the first one, or you just wait for the extra summon, I guess. Because I feel like you always like warning the first one.
Yeah, it's just such a horrible feeling because, yeah, 1x, yeah, if you were to activate one, then you'd have to have the other be targeted.
Yeah.
Just showing the power of this new XYZ that was released.
Yeah, Valone is very, very powerful. Just in this situation alone, it's, you know, like double warning. If there would have been an X, we would have seen both of them being activated.
Yeah, I think maybe just showing how how incredibly powerful X Ryziel is, to be honest. Like, every time a new XYZ comes out, it just gets that little bit better. The fact that it can send anything you like. I mean, he's got one warning to use, Sebastian. He's got to hope it's somehow enough.
Do you think here Mustafa knows that there may be another warning being said? It's just, you know.
I guess he knows it's something live. I don't know if you specifically know warning, but because if you use the X, I suppose he knows the interaction that, like, if that warning had been flipped, then the other card would have been destroyed. So, yeah, this just goes to show how crazy powerful X Ryziel is at going second into fields.
It's not really a breaking news, I'd say.
It's not breaking news, no, but you just see it again, and it just, like, one card trading with 2 solemn warnings just should not be allowed, like, unless it's Harvey's Feather Duster, I guess, but...
Which we just saw. It's in the deck.
It is in the deck. I was thinking about whether those were going to be sided in, and he did choose to.
Makes sense, and I mean, oof. This just looks super rough at this point. I mean, whoa, what do you even do? Where do you plan on activating the other one?
I don't know. He's just holding on to it for dear life at this point. But yeah, I feel like you were just supposed to flip it and hope, because at this point, I don't think it's going to be enough now with just what he has. He's already got an X Ryziel and a ritual set up. I suppose even worse news when they're not even searching the ritual, because it means they already have it.
Here comes, nope, the thinking, not at all. We're just gonna resolve and push.
I guess here is the time it starts to become more interesting, because Mustafa's got the decision to make of whether he's going to destroy his opponent's monster.
He does. Or he doesn't. Wait.
I don't even know. It does destroy face downs. Okay.
Wow.
Look at all those pluses. Yeah, it's getting out of control.
So, well, it comes back Garunix.
But we have Called by the Grave,
Yeah.
I think.
That's devastating.
That's so bad. Wow. Whew. And yeah, here comes Called by the Grave to stop even that Garunix from Mustafa.
And that is just the wrong solemn to have in this situation.
I mean, you solemn judgment there, you're pretty much done anyways. But yeah,
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, look at the other Garunix, not that it was any relevance.
Probably a bonus for Sebastian that it goes back, but I think it's a very small consolation.
Yeah,
at this point.
Seems like...
what a hand from Mustafa, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, although the effort was valid, I mean, Sebastian really couldn't do much this old match.
Yeah, the really thing, the solemn warnings here. Either, I mean, doesn't really matter where you activate it, I guess. It's too far ahead.
Yeah, it's fortunate. It's one of those things. I think the Fire King engine sort of excels at not being affected by cards like the Monk Charmies. So you're playing a deck which is, I think you kind of know has a weaker engine, But then in decks where, in matchups where you don't have those powerful non-engine, you're just facing off, and I feel like there's only going to be one winner in the Mitsurugi Raizio against Fire Kings without more Charmies and other cards involved.
Seems like this is almost the same as just admitting that we have lost the game. We do use this second solemn warning.
And yeah, just a 2 Garas, I guess, and it's
That's over. Yeah. And that is the handshake. Mustafa takes it with a 2-0. And he is the one who will be advancing with an 8-1 record. What an impressive showdown. I mean, we knew Mitsurugi Raizio was one of the best decks, of course, but it did not perform at all at the playoffs yesterday, which, raised some doubts. Well, Mustafa, I think, just completely, burst them away. So what can we say?
Yeah, it was a deck that players kind of ignored almost. It wasn't even like it didn't perform. It's just nobody even wanted to bring it, which to my mind seemed, it was just crazy because it is one of the most popular decks. And yeah, but everyone seemed to think, oh, I'll just put these Drolls on my side in case someone brings it, but I'm just playing Malice. I'm just preparing for Malice. Everyone had somehow decided this was the case, but maybe we'll see whether that story remains true for the main event.
No, but it's, I think it's... I would have never thought about this, to be fair, because it's one of the most consistent deck we have in the field, and if piloted this way, as Mustafa showed us, it's very scary to play against it. And he has a lot of different solutions, and I think the deck, if you can't really stop it, it just gets out of control. Especially because it basically maximizes all the good cards, especially the Mitsurugi cards, and you can also complement it with the side decks. He has multiple Solemns, and I think now having our 8-1 record, he has very good chances to advance into the top cut tomorrow. And
absolutely. 3 more rounds. As a reminder, tomorrow we'll be back same time, 9 a.m. CET, and then we'll have 3 more rounds before the cut to the top. And we still have a lot of action to find out who will be those 4 remaining duelists to be sent off to Paris for the World Championship later on in August, and obviously who will be the new European champion. But before we move on and before we hear it from the man himself, Mustafa, we have a special and quick announcement for you guys. So just keep watching, and there it comes.
We're here at the final World Championship qualifier of the season. But what are people competing for? Well, obviously their place at the World Championship Series. But who's going to be casting? Let's find out. Marcello Barbary, Billy Brake, Tom Payne, Mike Patukas, Alberto Marazzi, Jean-Alexis Husso, Ibris Dyer, Sebastian Lemka, Leonard Koenig, Takahiro Sasaki, Daisuke Naguma, and your host, Ed Templar. Thanks, me. That rabbit's been a long way. So, make sure you guys tune in for the World Championship Series because we've got great coverage. And also, we're going to be crowning some world champions. We'll see you there.
Well, here it is. The rabbit that's been all the way around the world has landed in Berlin with us this weekend.
Absolutely.
It's our little mascot.
Yeah, it is indeed, and it will follow us all the way to Paris, where there will be some amazing action. But as mentioned, we do need to find out who will be those 4 remaining duelists coming with us to Paris. So, Mike, take it away with Mustafa.
Hello, everyone. First of all, congratulations on the win.
Thank you so much.
First of all, I want to ask why you brought this deck on the tournament.
I think it's the deck I'm most comfortable playing. I tested a lot of Vanquish Soul because of the new set that just came out. I think the deck is like 2 starters away from being the best deck by far, but it's not quite there, so I just play what I'm comfortable with. It's very similar to the deck list that we played at UK Nationals with my teammates. just reliable.
To be honest, I totally agree with you that you should always play what you are comfortable and what you think is the best deck or something
Exactly.
like
You need
that.
to have fun. If you don't have fun, you can't win.
Exactly, and this is the whole point of the weekend.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you about 2 to 3 clips and give me your opinion about them, right?
Of course, yeah.
So first of all, I want to ask you on this sequence. So Seb had Garura on the field and he activated Sanctuary.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have Detonator and you choose to destroy Garura. What's your thought process behind that?
Okay, it's very simple. I think I usually win this game, but he has a few ways to make it complicated. One of them is to summon Typhon because it turns off Miracumo and it turns off Detonator. So when he goes Sanctuary, I don't really care about Fire King Island because he's under draw. So I pop the monster to avoid summoning Typhon.
And also, if Island is on the field, you can always pop it with Deto.
Yeah, he can protect it with Sanctuary, but he's on 2 low cards.
Yeah, I mean, if you destroyed Sanctuary instead.
Yeah.
I see your point. The second one is the sequence that went with Hext. So as our commentary trio said, Seb could warning your X summon in order to take a body from you, and also you don't have a search. What would be your play after that if you have been getting Solemn Warning on Next?
So I had Prayers and Ritual in my hand already. I led with X because the back row that Fire King usually plays is usually high impact.
Yeah.
Like they play stuff like Dominus Impulse. Also, when I saw him use Warning, I thought it was a bit weird. Like he should have probably just Warning the X.
Yeah.
But after I saw later on that it was 2 warnings, he played correctly. Because if he warnings the X, Valon pops the other warning, and then I get to play with the rest of my hand because the last card has Brick, so he loses.
Yeah, this is exactly what our commentary said, that you can, since Warning would be first on the summon, you can activate the Xyz on the other Warning.
If this set is a blank, then maybe it makes sense. But it's 2 real cards, like he needs to hold it for later.
Yeah, so it was the correct choice from Seb to hold the Warning and just wait for the correct moment.
Yeah.
However, as we saw, you just OTK with Jugares.
It was a very difficult game for him to play. Like Koba is really good against Fire King, Talon is also really good against Fire King.
Yeah, this is our third video, to be honest. How did you felt on this sequence? You had called by the grave, of course, for Garunix, and then later followed up with Talent. Did you feel that you had already gone at that point, or there was something that you were scared of?
Yeah, I think it's really hard to lose from that position because even if I don't kill him this turn, his Garunix is dead next turn because of called by, he can't use it. But for a second there, when he went set Ulcanix pass, I figured it was Ulcanix, it wasn't known. I was like, how do I get rid of this without triggering Garunix in battle? And then I realized like I don't really care, I can trigger it, and then I have call by talents to trade with the rest.
And there was only one option from Seb, the only unknown card.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. So, congratulations again for the win.
Thank you so much.
It was an amazing match, and I really hope that you are going to do well on the day 2.
Can I do shoutouts real quick?
If they're your friends, you can do it.
Yeah. This is the camera?
Yeah.
Massive shout out to Franco Persano. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much again for this, and I'm going to give you back to Ed and to continue with the end of day 1.